social media in relationships. Good, the bad, and the ugly. We're going to get into them all. Texting boys and texting girls. We had what? MSN?
Bebo.
And Bebo, yeah. Do you think it's easier to cheat or be unfaithful because of social media nowadays? What was the Viber you used to use? Remember that?
No.
The little purple phone, Viber? It was
No.
like WhatsApp back in the day.
No.
You never used Viber? I think we could both agree. Social media is mostly negative on relationships.
I've gone down a rabbit hole of comparing our relationship to other people's relationship. Women on social media, like all the Kardashians, influencers, they're only going to post themselves at their best.
Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back.
This is episode 6 of the Happily Ever Laughter podcast.
You got to write that.
Two episodes in a row. We're
You
on
can
a
say
roll.
it faster now this
We're on
time.
a roll. So yeah, if you haven't listened, after a great start. If you haven't listened to our last episode, it was all about trust. Definitely got a bit serious, in a good way. I think there was a lot of good points he made in it. So definitely go and check that out, and check out all our other episodes before this, because there's knowledge bombs and funny moments through all episodes. Would you agree?
I would.
Thanks very much. And
Just clarifying that.
thank you. So we are going to get straight into this episode, and it's something definitely everyone can relate to, especially this generation, the generation before us, generation after us, a lot of generations. A lot of generations
Gen Zs.
can relate to this, and it is social media in relationships.
Yeah. Pros
Are
and
they-
cons.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. We're going to get into them all. The pros, the cons, how to use it effectively, how not to use it. It's all going to be discussed. But I think, social media as a whole, without getting too big into like the history lessons, but like when we were kids growing up, when I say kids, like teenagers growing up, texting boys and texting girls, we had what? MSN?
Bebo.
And Bebo, yeah.
Bebo.
And there was no
Top 16s.
And there was no private messaging on BMO. You wrote
No,
on,
it
you
was
wrote on the
public.
wall.
It was public.
Yeah.
And like you had your top 16, so people knew where they stood.
Yeah. And you had your
Your other half.
remember your 3 loves a day?
And your other half as
Yeah.
well. Yeah,
There
yeah.
was a lot of girls out in the days who would just use you to get your loves, build up the love count, and they'd never speak to you again.
Oh, that was hilarious.
But,
yeah. Yeah, MSN as well, actually.
MSN,
Forgot about that.
yeah.
But that was the only thing that you could probably only private message
That
on.
was the only social media though back then. Because
yeah,
like
it started off with MSN.
it started off with MSN and Bebo.
Could be really showing her age.
I know, yeah, but like so many people were related to this stuff. That's what I think. Like the think back in the day, like I think it's so funny now how we use our phones and everyone texts through WhatsApp. No one actually text messages anymore.
Through a message.
Through
Even
text message, like,
anything. Like even if
nothing.
I am organising my schedule for next week and if a client texts me on
Yeah.
my phone, I'm like,
If I text anyone through work, it's through WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Or football or any sport.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm organising that, and it's through WhatsApp. Like if I received a text, I'm like, what the hell is this?
sure, actually, fun fact, me and Aiden, obviously when we first met each other, Facebook was the thing. Facebook
Oh, yeah,
Messenger.
Facebook Messenger.
And
Yeah.
up until like probably I want to say about 3 years in our relationship, me and you still text on Facebook Messenger.
Just because that was the way.
Just because
Yeah.
like WhatsApp
No.
was big and everything, but we had always
it was
just
just what we
texted
were
on
used
that.
to.
And I
Yeah.
remember all my friends being like, why are you texting on Facebook? And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
No.
And then we made the strong decision to just one day, I text you on WhatsApp and you were
Yeah.
like, what?
I know. It was such a weird.
We were in a relationship like 3 years.
Yeah. But
That's
it is,
mad,
it's
actually, when you think about that.
To think about like how accessible it is. Like obviously we talk about relationships and all that, but like going into the dating scene real quick, like you have like the likes of Tinder, Grindr
Yeah.
if they're gay, like it's just mad how
Bumble. There's so many actually.
it's mad how easy it is to date people online and like talk to people through social media.
Yeah.
nowadays.
And that's all it is.
When you
though.
just like, and like we weren't planning to talk about this, I just talked about it off the top of my head there. It's actually madness to think like we had MSN and Bebo to talk to girls we liked or boys you liked or whatever. Whereas now,
But it
like,
was all public.
yeah, like if you were chatting up a board and risen up a girl, whatever, it was all over their
Trying to
wall.
board.
It was all over their wall. Like
It was everywhere. Like
all your best
people
moves.
knew who you liked because it was like,
Yeah.
oh, is that we texting so and so?
Yeah, it was just madness. Like whereas now, like obviously,
And even Facebook, there wasn't like private
There was no
messenger
messenger.
wasn't a big
No,
thing. It was
no.
like you left a comment on their page.
yeah. I remember like when we were like all my friends, we were like just turned 18, 19, we organised the trip to Galway and we set up like a Facebook page
That's
to
gas.
organise it.
Whereas now it's
So
all
we were
WhatsApp.
writing on the wall, being like, "Right, lads, what's the story?" And we were all commenting on the post. There was no back in the day. I want to say back in the day, like, this is 6 years ago.
Yeah.
There was
Well,
no messenger.
Well,
Sorry,
no,
I keep thinking
we're
I'm 24.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
And
like,
here
hey, what
we're
age am
only
I?
together 4 years. Like,
No,
we're
I'm
together.
Okay, Jesus, 10 years ago. Jesus,
Yeah,
we're
about
getting
10.
old.
You don't realize it though. 10 years ago feels like 2 years ago
Yeah,
when
it
you get
does.
older.
Like, I'm thinking 10 years ago, like, there was no WhatsApp. There was, like, what was the Viber you used to use? Remember that? The little
No,
purple phone, Viber. It was like WhatsApp
No.
back in the day.
no.
You never used Viber?
I don't think. You're showing your age now.
You're 1 year younger than me, for God's sake. No, it
No,
was,
I don't remember Viber.
it
Are you
was,
sure it's called Viber?
yeah, and it was like a little purple icon.
I remember that, but I don't remember it being called
It was
Viber.
definitely called Viber, yeah.
Oh, maybe.
Whatever.
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyways, we're going down an old tangent
Yeah,
about
sorry.
old social medias, which is not the
That's
point. But
gas.
social medias now, to go back to my original point, are just so complex, and kids nowadays, like, you never see a kid like rock up to a nightclub and like hit on a girl.
No,
Not that we were in kids nightclubs watching all this, but like,
you don't hear of
it's
it.
just like if you talk to anyone, like,
Sorry, not that we're in
not that we're in kids nightclubs.
Right, had to clarify that. You know?
But like the younger generation, and when I say younger generation, like only like 4, 5, maybe 6 years younger.
No,
than us,
anyone 25 and under.
they're all talking through Snapchat, or how'd you meet that fella, or how'd you meet that girl through Snapchat,
Yeah,
or through Instagram,
yeah.
or something.
Which is fine. It's completely fine.
It's
Like,
just mad though.
well, we just so happen to meet each other on a night out. But even a lot of
Yeah.
our friends probably met their girlfriends through social media.
Yeah, no, there's nothing
Yeah,
wrong with it. There's
yeah.
nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying, like, the difference now is crazy. As in, like, the younger generation, like, I think, like, they never knew anything but social media.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
sort of way?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they never had to,
Knock
like,
for a friend.
or not for a friend, or if they were texting a girl or a boy, like, be onto their mom or dad for credit.
Oh,
Do you know, sort of way?
I used to text. I don't know if it's still a thing.
Oh, here we go.
I used to
Zoe's
have no
confession.
credit, and I text. There was a number you could text, and you'd say, "I owe you €2."
And you get free credit. Yeah.
€2 credit,
I
and they'll
remember-
send you. Then when you top up, they take that €2.
I remember I had a laptop, and when I ran out of credit, you could use the web service to send a message.
Oh, okay.
So like when you bought credit, say it was like with like Meteor. When
Yeah,
Meteor was a thing.
Meteor.
Meteor or whatever you call it.
Meteor.
Meteor. It say like I only had like 100 texts in a month. Do you know what I mean? And you use that in like space a couple of days because I was just texting loads of girls.
Yup,
Yeah,
little boy
go on,
rat
son.
over here. Yup. Who's on?
But you used to be able to go into like the web messenger
Yeah.
and you got like 500 texts. But
Yeah.
like the thing is, like, it'd come up on the text message, this message was sent via web text.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you know you'd be getting desperate when they're sending
Ah,
through
well, no,
that
I
and all.
would have never noticed that.
That here.
I was gonna
Doesn't
say
matter.
something there. Do you remember they were like, you little boy rat? I was gonna say, do you remember when I first got with you? Someone
I
told
knew
me
it.
you were a little player.
I'm a,
He's the complete opposite.
don't hate the player, hate the game.
Oh, I just had to
you know
hitting
what
the
I mean?
mic off my nose. But he
It's
oh,
not
it's
a shock
just
for you
so
to say to
funny
someone.
because you're
Just
the
letting you know,
complete
Zoe, that
opposite.
fella's a player.
He's a player. He like plays girls. Aiden.
Wow.
Gas. Anyways, that was
Right.
just had to say that there.
I knew as soon as you
Never
opened your
trust
mouth,
people's opinions on
I
people.
knew as soon as you opened your mouth you were going to say it. I was like, oh, here we bleed and go.
But
But,
I'm backing it up. You're not a player.
Zoe secured
Player,
this.
player.
Zoe secured this player, and the rest was
Got him
history.
locked down.
Right, social media. Do you want to talk about the positives or the negatives first?
Well, I only have 2 positives. I couldn't find any really positives about it. Or, but I'm saying that I only have 3 cons.
Okay, well, I think we'll start on a positive note.
Okay, I'll go first this time.
Go on.
Because
go
like
on.
you always go first. Right, let me open it up. Sorry. Right. Sorry, did you say we're starting on a positive?
Yeah, like give me a positive, like social media relationships. How can it be a positive
Okay.
thing for a relationship?
So obviously one of them. Okay.
when you're ready.
Sorry, it's really
Just when you're ready.
I didn't know who was
Come on,
there.
man.
Okay, so one of my pros is communication
Right.
because it's really good with communicating. Like, let's say I had no credit,
Yeah.
right?
Because we still
But
use credit these days.
I don't know, but like, let's say you run out of something and you connect to Wi-Fi somewhere. You can
Yeah.
still communicate through WhatsApp, through everything. Like, let's say you had no signal, you'll still get
Yeah.
Wi-Fi and
I
your
think-
phone will still work.
Exactly.
So it's always good that you can use that to communicate with loved ones or also just checking in on people. Like if like, well, I know it's in a relationship, but like long distance relationship,
Yeah.
you know, you can always just like check in on that person and see how they're doing. You can FaceTime them.
Yeah.
Like everything like that.
FaceTime has gotten, like, I see people like walking down the road,
FaceTime people.
Like, people don't phone each other anymore.
I think
it's all FaceTime.
I know
now.
that obviously this podcast is about relationships and stuff like that, but think about people who have family abroad and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like some
Yeah.
people have family that live like still in their home country and stuff like that. It's really,
Yeah.
really good
So
to
handy.
communicate.
Yeah.
So I just think one of its most prawns is that you can communicate.
Prawns. So
I'm
he's starving.
Don't even like fish. Pros is that you can communicate.
Yeah, no, I agree, because like I think, and we said it on our last episode as well, like that we were talking about trust, and we were like, there's no excuse to not have someone to text you back,
Yeah.
because you're so accessible nowadays.
So
Like,
accessible.
smartphones, like not to like financially shit on people, but like most people have a smartphone these days.
Oh, who doesn't?
it's
Other
very-
than your 90-year-old nanny, like,
Yeah,
you
but,
know.
like, yeah, I know, yeah, like whether it's a good smartphone or not, you still have access to WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger, and they're free
Yeah.
apps. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Then very, very, very rarely ever not working. Like, there's no excuse not to be talking to someone.
No.
So I think it's from a relationship point of view, it's so handy in the sense that, like, imagine without it.
Oh God, like even if funny enough, like remember we were driving down to Belfast and your ma was like giving us directions to this pub.
Oh yeah,
And we were
yeah.
like, Karen, we
Yeah.
have Google Maps. Like,
Yeah,
why?
yeah,
We
it's so
don't need that.
accessible.
Like,
Yeah, I know, yeah. But no, I think communication is a good one. I think it just allows couples to constantly communicate, so there's not long gaps.
between
makes sense.
talking or
Between
like
talking.
worried, like if something happened, like you don't have
Exactly.
to sit at home and
As we
worry.
were saying in the last episode, without getting back into it, it's always nice to check in with your partner. Sorry, not to check in with your partner, but to let them know what you're up to. Excuse me, just out of a lack of or
Respect.
sign of respect.
A lack of respect.
You know, yeah, a lack of respect is not letting them know what you're doing. But again, like, imagine social media wasn't around, and
Yeah.
you just came home and I just wasn't there,
Yeah.
and you text me phone, like, you actually sent me a text message.
Yeah.
Where are you?
Yeah.
Like, I actually might be playing golf up the mountain somewhere,
And you
have no
don't have signal. Yeah. Whereas you
know?
always have, if you're connected to Wi-Fi, you'll always get something.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think communication is a big one. One of the ones that I like is it's a different way of expressing your love. So, and we'll get into it more in detail later in the episode, but like, you'll see couples, we don't really do it as much, but like, you see couples that will like really like kind of show off their partner on social media.
Yeah, which
You know,
which
so
sometimes I don't care. That doesn't bother me at
No,
all.
I like,
I actually think it's quite nice to see sometimes. Now, depends what they're posting, but
yeah,
like
I
if they're
know,
just
yeah.
posting
But,
something
but
like,
it's a nice thing to do, like, to be able to be like, for your birthday or for your anniversary, just to put up a lot of, and just say, publicly announce,
yeah, that
I'm-
actually ties
I'm-
into my next pro.
I'm grateful for this person,
Yeah,
I love her, blah blah blah, or I love him.
yeah, yeah.
So without that, it's very hard to publicly show it. Like, I'm not gonna go into Con Street, ring a bell, and be like, I love Zoe Murphy.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
understand
Not
what
that
I
you
mean?
have to, but like
It's
it
nice,
is
though.
nice though.
It
It
is
is
nice,
nice.
though.
Like as you said, me and you don't really do it often. But then when you do post something, I'm like, oh, that was really sweet. Like,
yeah,
you know,
because it doesn't happen that
Yeah,
often.
yeah, you know what I mean? But, like-
it's just a different way of showing love. Like, we talked about love language and all this stuff at the very, very start of this podcast. I was actually thinking to myself the other day when I was thinking of episode ideas, I think I'd like to do an episode on each love language, like, specifically, because you talk about love languages for so long.
yeah, true.
Yeah, so that could be
true.
something down the road we do. But anyways, like, the likes of words of affirmation,
Mm,
like, expressing yourself publicly on social media. If someone's love language is words of affirmation, and they come home and they go onto Instagram or whatever, and the first thing they see is their partner put up being like, I'm so proud of this girl,
yeah,
or
it puts
this fella,
them. Sorry, go ahead.
working so hard, or on their promotion, they inspire me so much, I love them,
Mm,
thanks
mm.
for being you. You're
Yeah.
not gonna be like, oh, what are you doing?
You're just gonna make your partner's day a lot better,
You're gonna
or
be
like
"Thank
you're
you."
gonna be
No,
like, oh my
obviously you
god.
can say it to them, to their face, and it's just as good.
I'm sure if you're posting it, you've already said it to
Yeah,
their face. Like,
exactly,
you know,
yeah.
well, I'd hope so. Like,
I think it's just a public announcement. I'm
Yeah.
not afraid to show how much I love you.
I'm
in
not
a way.
afraid to show emotion.
Exactly.
Yeah, especially for
Yeah.
men as well,
So I
because
think social media allows you to do that, because, as I said, without social media, how do you publicly show your love for them?
yeah. Sorry, I was
know?
gonna say something there. I feel like a lot of men are scared to show emotion and stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
feel like if you're openly like, I don't care, and like you'll publicly announce that you like your girl, like love your girlfriend, you're proud of her.
Mm.
I think girls also are like, oh, like he's in touch with his emotions and stuff like that, or he doesn't care what people think of him,
Exactly.
which is a good thing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really good one.
It ties into your one, you said?
My it actually kind of ties into my next one. What I was going to say. I have in a why does it keep going now? I have a shared experiences.
You have the same ones as me.
Do I?
I wrote down documented memories.
Yeah. So, like, for example, me and you got engaged,
Yeah.
and we were able to share our engagement through social media to all of our friends. Well, obviously, we've told our friends prior,
Yeah.
but to the world pretty much.
The people we might not contact as often.
Yeah, and
You know
like,
what I mean?
but we were able to do it together as a couple. Like, even though
Yeah.
we have two separate pages, we were able to, what is it called? Like,
Collaborate.
and it's
Yeah.
on your page, it's on my page, and it's
Yeah.
something for the both of us. Your friends were writing on it that some people I didn't even know,
Yeah.
and congratulating the two of us, and
Yeah.
like, even like down to like, let's say if we got pregnant and stuff like that, we would announce it. Like, it's a big
It
thing.
makes it easier. Like, imagine back in the day without social media. 'Cause this is how I'm always imagining stuff like that when we're talking about it. I'm going to do it for the rest of this episode. Imagine announcing you got engaged without social media.
Oh, you'd
Imagine
have
the
to like
amount of
drive around to
text
everyone's
messages.
family.
But like,
and
like even if we're still keeping phones in the equation, the amount of phone calls and texts, and it's like, oh, do I tell this person or do I not? Like, am I that close to them? Am I
Yeah.
not? Like, is what if you ring someone like, oh, me and Zoe got engaged, and they're like, oh yeah, cool.
nice one.
Like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
But like, people say like that I haven't spoken to in years, who, you know, I'm still friendly with. Like, if I seen them on the street, I'd be like, oh, what story? How are you?
Yeah.
They can still show their support or their well done or their congratulations by just liking a post.
Just liking it, or
In a
even
certain
just
way.
content delighted for you, or
Yeah.
happy for you.
Exactly,
Good
yeah.
one, like, you know, not
Exactly.
good one, but
Good
like
one.
good one.
Nice one, bro, yeah.
Thumbs up. Imagine that. That's the worst. Sorry, that's
Imagine-
the worst thing
imagine
about a
like
message. It's
Yeah.
people just send you back a thumbs up.
It's the equivalent of K. Remember
Yeah,
K back
alright.
in the day?
Yeah,
K back in
KK.
the day. That's such like a
Um,
parent thing to do. Like, you send your like a photo to your ma, whatever. Like, we just got engaged, and it's just a thumbs up, a yellow thumbs up. There's not even color on it. None of the color.
I only use yellow though.
Do
As
you?
well. I
Oh,
never.
no.
I can't be bothered going to find my skin tone. Like,
No, but that's what it's
it's
all
just
about.
a thumbs up. Like,
No, yellow
if you're
thumb.
putting less thought into sending a message back and sending a thumbs up,
A yellow thumbs up is the equivalent of a K.
yeah,
A
that's what I
white, like a
do.
white or whatever skin color you are, thumbs up is a bit more okay. Yeah, fair enough. They're the
No.
same. Yeah, it is.
No.
It is.
But anyways, but yeah, so I think it's really good for sharing experience and like having that
Yeah.
good environment with social media.
It's like an online scrapbook.
Yeah.
That's the way I
Right,
look at it.
yeah, actually, that's
Like-
really good.
Like, because me and you don't, like, I don't post on my page.
you
don't
never
it.
post.
I used to always post. It's
You,
mad. Like,
that could actually bring tie into like the cons as well, because you always post and you cared about probably like how many people viewed it or like
back in the day.
day. And I
yeah,
remember I
yeah.
used to always say to you, why do you care what people think?
Yeah.
But it just in your head, you were like, this is how I grow my following.
Yeah.
But now you don't care about your
I'm
following.
The opposite.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
the absolute opposite.
But,
Like, I couldn't care if I have 2 followers.
That's what I
couldn't
mean,
care.
because you don't post anymore.
I just don't post now.
But
I should, but I just like, even like the way like a lot of people do now is they'll post once a month and it's like a photo dump.
oh,
of every-
June or something like.
Yeah,
I
that's
like that.
Yeah, I think that's very good.
Yeah, I do like that. A lot
I
of our
need to start
friends
doing
actually do
But,
that.
like, we're getting sidetracked here, but even last point, like, we don't even take photos together on events and stuff like that.
No, we don't. We're
so
really
bad
bad at
We're
it.
so
And
bad
like
at
we
it.
have, it's not that
It's
like we
'cause-
hate taking photos with each
It's
other,
because like Zoe's off enjoying her night, I'm off enjoying my night.
but we're still in the same group. But we're just
we'll cross paths and like
when you're leaving.
we're like walking by, high five, and right, I'll see you later. Like, do you know what I mean? Don't forget 2 o'clock car park. Be out there to drive home.
yeah,
But
no.
like we're just kind of the couple where when we're out with our friends, and our friends are very much the same, except Amy Blake. If you're listening to this,
Why?
Amy Blake, that we just don't be on our phones.
Does Amy Blake be on her phone?
Group photo, every guys.
Oh,
Group
sorry.
Photo, guys. Group
Yeah,
photo.
she's the only one who will always make sure we get
In-
that photo. But we
In
all
fairness,
thank her the
though-
next
in
day.
fairness, though, Amy, if you listen to this, I don't know if she listens to this
I don't know.
podcast.
Oh well.
If you listen
Shout
to
out
this,
to Amy.
you are greatly appreciated, because without them, there'd be no group photos.
No, she always
Because
gets the
all our
group
friends
photos.
are just, we're not people who pose for photos. We're not like, oh, let's get loads of photos.
And she's literally like, everyone shut up and sit down and get in this photo.
Yeah,
We're all
I
like,
know.
okay, sorry.
But like, even like when I was thinking of like what the positives were, like when I go onto my page, the only thing I really post is like me and Zoe on like special occasions, like anniversary, birthdays, whatever, or
Yeah.
days out we had or whatever. And I can go back and be like, oh my god, remember we did that?
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure like the first couple of posts on my page are like me and you at festivals when we were first with each other.
Yeah, what
You
was
know,
the
sort of
quote you
way.
put up on a booze shoot? What was it?
Booze, shoes, and matching shoes.
No,
Oh, booze,
booze,
tunes,
tunes,
and matching shoes.
Not booze. Booze, tunes, and
matching
matching shoes. Because we
yeah.
both had on, what were they?
Black fans.
Fans.
Yeah. But yeah, that's probably one of the first posts. Or even like the post of like us at, what was that festival? It was a real fucking Scaldy festival. And we had like the chicken hats was that called
Oh,
again?
barn dance.
Barn dance. I'll never go to that
It's
again. That
ropey. Never
was
go to barn
madness.
dance. It's a
But,
ropey
but
festival.
like, it's cool to look back on them every now and
Yeah,
again.
it
Because
is, and it's funny.
I don't know if anyone else does this. I do it. Zoe goes mad. I'll take photos of something and I'll delete them.
Oh my
after.
god, he literally takes a nice photo of me and him, and then I go in, like, not that I go into his deleted files. He'll be showing me something on his phone, and I'm like, oh, where's that photo you just took? Oh yeah, let me go get it. And he goes into his deleted
Well, like,
photos.
I'll
I'm like,
share it.
Aiden, like, why are you deleting
I'll
everything?
share it like on our story, or like if I do post it, I'll post it. So I know it's there on Instagram in the archive. So what's the point of it keeping up space on my phone?
What if Instagram completely just shut down like Bebo
It's
and
the
you
risk
can't
you're
get
taking.
anything? Do you know what, actually? I tried to go back and find my Bebo page.
Right,
It's supposed to be
I'd
just a
love
thing
to-
you can do.
Yeah, I tried.
But
it before.
I couldn't find it. I would love to find all my
Oh,
messages and
I don't know
photos
if I
from there.
would. I don't know if I
Not
would.
even messages. I don't care about my messages. Just
Yeah.
the photos you used to
I
post.
probably have like a mullet with like pink
Oh,
dyed
you were like a
tips.
rocker.
No, like a
You
mullet,
were.
a spicer.
Oh yeah, but you were a little rocker as well,
No, I
weren't you?
wasn't.
You used to tell me you were a little rocker.
No, I like rock music. Doesn't
Yeah,
mean I was walking
'cause you're a
around.
rocker.
No, yeah, but just like I like all types of music. But yeah, no, I think a lot of couples would agree that, you know, people who are in like long term relationships, like 5, 6+ years, if they go onto their Instagram now, 80% of it is like memories of what they did as a couple. You know, sort of way.
Yeah.
And it's nice to go and look back. And if you don't do it, do it. Sit down there with your partner one day and just, it's like a scrapbook, as I said, go through each other's Instagram feed and be like, oh my God, do you remember that? And
Yeah.
you'll have a laugh.
Or through your,
And
like you said, your archive.
archive, your story archive.
Yeah.
I
That's
go
the
through-
funniest.
I go through my story archive all the time. You
I
find
haven't
some
gone
mad
through it
stuff.
in years.
Like mine goes back to 2017.
Yeah.
Like,
I
that's
remember when
madness.
we first started going out, like if I wanted to show someone something, like what we done, I'd go through my archive.
Mm.
But now I haven't done it in years. I must actually
Yeah.
we must do it tonight,
So-
actually.
No.
All right. We're going to play tennis tonight.
Yeah. We're all Wimbledon up, we are.
Okay.
But no, that I think, like, look, social media, I think we could both agree, is mostly negative on relationships, which is sad to say.
Yeah, because
there
like
should be a positive.
when you were like, we were like, right, we're going to talk about social media and relationships and like, is it positive? Is it not? And you were like, find positives and then negatives, and I was just like, I literally can only think of two positives. Like,
Yeah.
everything else is
Do you
negative.
think of loads of negatives?
No, loads of
off
negatives.
the top
Like,
of your head.
yeah, straight
I
away.
know.
Like,
But like, that's sad to see, and it's the way social media is going, and I think it's so normalized as well for social media to be a negative thing. So that's why I kind of wanted to start with the positives, to be like, no, there actually are some very good positives to social media. Unfortunately, there are a lot of negatives, but those negatives can be cancelled in a way.
that's
know, sort of
sorry,
way.
I was actually just about to say that. I was going to say it also depends on your relationship.
Mm.
Because like me and you have no negativity, like sorry, social media has no effect on our relationship,
Yeah,
because me and you aren't we don't
Active on it.
we're not we trust each other, like,
yeah,
so like I don't care if you're sitting on social media for hours.
yeah,
I wouldn't be like, what's he doing?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't
yeah.
I don't care what you're doing.
I know.
Do what you want to do.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on your relationship and like your outlook on like it depends on your relationship, I think, as well.
It does, yeah,
Like someone, like people text Aiden on social media, like,
yeah.
and you show me and I laugh and I'm like, oh, new board. Like,
Yeah.
doesn't bother me.
I know.
You
I
know?
know,
So
yeah.
I think it depends on your relationship as
It
well.
is,
All the
yeah.
negatives, like,
Yeah.
it's your relationship.
Go on, start us off with a negative there. Let's get into it.
Okay, let me see. How come your
Right.
phone just stays open? Mine doesn't do that.
It's in the settings.
First
believe or not?
first one is unrealistic expectations.
We'll have that as well. I think we're gonna have the same.
I knew
ones.
I said it to you before
Yeah.
we started the show. I was
Go
like,
on,
we're gonna-
anyways. We'll get our opinions on both of them.
So I can obviously only speak from my girl or woman's point of view.
Yeah, because I'll speak from the fellas.
Yeah, so basically we're get it together.
Spit it
Zoe.
out.
Get it together. Okay. Men only see like women on social media, like all these like icons, like Kim Kardashian we touched on before, Khloe Kardashian, all the Kardashians, like influencers, even Irish influencers.
Mm.
They're only gonna post themselves at their best.
Correct.
Right? And
Yeah.
probably 9 times out of 10, I don't care if you want to go get Botox, anything you want to go do it, it's your body. But I feel like people are looking at girls like that and being like, why are my girlfriend's boobs not like that? Or why does my girlfriend's face have wrinkles? Or like,
Yeah.
why do they look skinny and my girlfriend has stretch marks?
Yeah.
They have stretch marks, they're just not showing them. Like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think lads have that then in their head that my girl should always look her best. And why does my girl not look like her? Well, 9 times out of 10, they've probably had work done.
Yeah.
and they're only going to show themselves in the best of
At the
gear.
best. Yeah.
Whereas, like, actually, a lot of Irish influencers are really good at showing their
I think
imperfections as
I
well.
think the really popular influencers are starting to do a lot of that. Like
They really
even
are.
I see like some girls, I say like gym influencers, and they be like, "Oh yes, I have a six pack," but when I sit down on my bed, I have a big like
Yeah,
I've flab on my stomach,
yeah.
like it's natural,
And I've seen a
you
lot
know.
of fitness influencers now showing their body through different stages of their menstrual cycle.
Yeah,
And it's really nice to see
it's
because
huge
they're like, this is
difference.
when I'm not ovulating, this is when I'm in my luteal phase, this is
Yeah,
this. And it shows their body, and like they're in amazing shape and they look amazing in all phases.
yeah,
But they're like to men, like, stop getting fixated if women have a bit of a bloatedness, like,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
And then also, I just said, a lot of Irish influencers, like even the younger girls, like Ellie Kelly, Charlene Murphy, they're all going on and showing them at their vulnerable side as well.
mm.
Do you know, which is really
To
good to
show they're
see
normal,
now. And they're
they're
like, girls, it's
humans.
normal for this to happen, to be
Yeah,
unfair, like all this. So I think it's getting better, but
yeah.
it's still unrealistic.
I think it did reach a stage where everyone kind of wanted to look like a Kardashian at one
Mm,
stage because they're obviously like the Kardashians are minted.
they're
Like,
minted, but
and
they've
as
had
much
so much
they've had
work
so much
done.
work done, and as much as they might say, "Oh no, they haven't," blah 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 blah,
They
they
have.
have. Like, and it just sets such unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
sort of way.
Yeah.
Like when you see the before and after photos for certain Kardashians, you're just like, "That's a different person."
And the only thing
You
that
know?
fears me is like the younger generation coming up, because as the older you get, you realize it's not real. It's not
Yeah,
real. Roz Portal is brilliant at showing how social media, how she looks when she poses a certain way to when 2 seconds later in the same
yeah,
outfit.
yeah.
But little kids aren't seeing that. Like,
No,
you know what I mean? They're
yeah.
only seeing like the filters on the
They're doing
faces
the
and
same pose and going, "Why is
why am
my
I?
hips
Yeah,
out this way?" or
yeah.
"Why is my
Why do
leg
I
look
not look like
fat?" or whatever.
her? And I'm
Yeah.
just like, everyone's different. Like, so
Mm.
it can really have a bad effect
But as you
on
said,
relationships
as
as
a
well,
relationship
though.
point of view, the girls can be like, why doesn't, or sorry, you said the fella would look at that and go, why doesn't my girl look
Yeah,
that
why is
pretty all the
my
time?
and it's always gonna be like,
Yeah,
why is my girl heavier than her? Or why is my girlfriend
yeah,
not brush her hair as much as her?
yeah.
Like,
I know. Like, definitely happens more so with fellas thinking that. I don't know if it happens with girls, would they would follow male accounts that are like tourist traps because it's a girl thing to do on
no.
Instagram.
Well, I personally don't know anyone who would, but like, I can guarantee none of our girl mates are adding lads and being like, whoa, like, you
No,
know what I
I
mean?
don't think it just happens.
Never.
But I will say though, from a fella's point of view, or not even a fella's point of view, it can be both sides of the relationship that ties into your point. But instead of body image, it's like unrealistic couples, as in like you could have like this really good looking bloke and this really good looking girl, and as you said, their life looks amazing. They're going on all these amazing dates, like to Dubai.
Mm,
They're going to Asia. They're going to America. They're doing all these amazing things, and it feels like they're going away like once a month. They're going to spa weekends, and they're just doing everything. They've
yeah.
nice cars,
You're kind of looking, being like, I wish I had that in
and
my
you're going,
relationship.
"I wish I had that relationship. Like, why hasn't my fella brought me out to a really really nice restaurant in ages,
Mm,
or why haven't we been on a really really luxurious holiday? Like, I want to go on, I want to do this and I want to do that."
mm.
And it's saying like you almost compare yourself to other couples,
You always do. You're always gonna compare
and I think
yourself.
that's
Yeah.
such a horrible thing to do because you don't know their situation, you don't know their financial situation, you don't know their work situation,
Mm,
you don't know their mental health situation, you don't know anything. And I think like social media just doesn't wrap the context around what's really going on in someone's life. So as much as someone's showing they have this amazing life, you can have that as well, but it's not going to be as frequent or as glamorous as they're making it out to be on social
yeah.
media. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? So like, I just think it's so unhealthy for you to compare your relationship to other relationships you see online, because your relationship is special, their relationship is special, and no two relationships should ever be compared because they're your own unique thing.
Yeah.
Am I saying that?
And also that ties into like, people show you what they want to show you. For all you know, their relationship could be so bad behind closed doors.
Exactly. Like they could be on these amazing holidays, like they're all in the best of gear. They're like, wow, like they look like such a happy couple. And behind closed doors, they hate each other.
There could be
They hate
anything
each
going
other. You
on.
just don't
Yeah, yeah.
know. So I just think like never compare yourself to other couples on social media, whether it be Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever it is. Some couple could look like the happiest couple in the world, and behind closed doors, it's so toxic. So just focus on your relationship, and
Yeah.
like that is a valid point in a way to say like, well, look, if my boyfriend and my girlfriend maybe doesn't bring me out as much as they did at the start, because we've had them conversations
Yeah.
before, and it's a very normal thing. down the road for relationships to get into the habit of
Getting
maybe
too comfortable.
getting too comfortable, maybe not going on as many date nights as possible. Like, you can say it, but I wouldn't be like, why aren't we going on date nights? So and so on Instagram go on date nights once a week. We never go on date nights.
Yeah. And
That's the worst thing you could possibly say.
And actually, to make another point there, going off what you just said there, a lot of influencers or people on social media, they're probably not out every week. They take loads of photos and
Yeah.
don't post them at the time.
At the same time.
And then they could be
yeah.
lying in bed posting a photo of them and their partner out being like date night.
Yeah.
And I know people who do that. I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
people
yeah.
who do that. Like, they might put up that they're on holidays, but they're not. It was a holiday from ages ago.
And they'll, yeah.
And
It
people are
looks
like,
they're
oh,
away
they're
every-
away again. They're
Yeah,
out
yeah.
again. And you're like, no, don't believe everything you see on social media.
Exactly. Because
yeah.
I know, like, that's something that would really annoy me if Zoe came to me and was like, why don't we have that relationship? Why aren't you taking me to Dubai, and why aren't you bringing me out for a steak dinner every night? I'm like, because one, I can't afford it.
Yeah.
But, like, two, like, it's not realistic. Like, I guarantee they're not doing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And it just adds toxicity and just messes up the
Yeah.
relationship.
And we're
in
not
general,
saying
like,
we're perfect, because we have had conversations like
yeah.
that. It is like, I've
But
gone
that's-
down a rabbit hole of comparing our relationship to other people's relationship. Now, never like, why are you not bringing me on holidays and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like, why are we not going out on a date night once a week or something
Mm.
like that? And Nathan has been like, so we like, let's be realistic about things.
Yeah.
We probably first can't afford it, like going out every week.
Exactly,
He's
yeah.
like,
But I could turn around and be like, but like, I understand, yes, you know, I might not be able to do it as frequently as you see it online, but I'll make a conscious effort to do it more than what
yeah,
we're doing now.
and like that, it never always had to be about money. Like, it
Mm.
could just be spending quality time with each other.
Yeah,
Like,
it
that's
could just
it.
be a trip to the
But
cinema.
like,
although cinema's expensive
we've
now.
been there, we've had them conversations, but
Yeah.
you have to kind of take a step back and like be like, no, he's right. I
Yeah.
shouldn't be comparing my relationship to
But,
other
like,
people's relationships.
Exactly. Like again, the last point I'll make on this is that, like, as I said before, like, every relationship is unique.
Mm.
So, like, just focus on your relationship and your relationship only. Don't be looking at other relationships. No relationship out there in the world is like me and Zoe's. It's just not.
No.
The same way you could be listening to this and you have a partner, your relationship to that partner is never like me and Zoe's relationship. It's your own unique thing. So, like, look at what you do well, look at what you enjoy, and maybe build on that instead of looking at what you aren't doing.
Yeah.
Look at what you are doing as a couple and build off that.
Yeah.
Am I right in saying
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
that? So, like, but we'll go into another couple of negatives because there's definitely a lot more than that. So, like, I have high expectations, jealousy of others, and fake relationships, but they kind of all tie
That
into the
literally
same
just
thing.
tied into that
That
one.
tied into that whole conversation.
Is that
doesn't
all
it?
you have?
Yeah, pretty much.
I have
yeah.
another one.
Go on, you go for another one,
Okay,
yeah.
because yours is kind of
Mine-
all just
mine all
tied
tie
into
in,
what we
but
just
I just
talked
think
about
that,
there.
in my opinion, that's the biggest flaw with social media. I kind of have another one, but it's on a later topic. But go on, you talk about yours there.
I have social media addiction.
Okay, right.
So, like, for example, right before this podcast, I sat upstairs on my phone and you were like, can we go down and record the podcast now?
yeah, yeah,
And I was
yeah,
like, give me another hour. And you were like, why? Because I'm sitting on my phone on social media.
yeah.
So therefore, it can be a con in a relationship. Because sometimes you lose communication in person
Yeah,
and you sit on your phone for too long, and your partner could be like,
it's boring.
this, like, she's not even speaking to me. Like,
Yeah.
she's just sitting on her phone constantly. But not that I do it all the time, but
No.
I noticed I did it right before we came down to talk about this. So I'm going to
Yeah.
be open and say I did it. But, like, that's it. Like, people just, like, imagine I came home from work and
I was just sitting. On
you
my
didn't
phone.
even greet me. It was
Yeah.
just- like, I've seen videos, like, made of that on social media, like, being like, be careful what social media can do to your relationship, whether it's not happening online, it's happening in person.
Yeah,
Because
and it's a dark horse.
it is a dark horse, and we all have our days where we fall down a loop on social media, and
Yeah.
you're not in the humor of being social with anyone. You just want to sit down on your phone. We all have them. I had one of them today, but then I kind of sat there and was like, oh shit, what am I doing? Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
know what you mean.
But like, imagine I can only put it in if I came home from work and I've had a long day and I'm coming home, Aiden's on his phone. He's like, hey, oh sorry, obviously people whoever are listening to me can't see me. So like, if I come home and Aiden is like head down in his phone typing and literally just looks up and says,
Not
hey,
even typing, just scrolling.
just
TikTok.
scroll, yeah, or
just
whatever,
scrolling.
and just lifts his head and says, hey, and then puts his head back in his phone.
Mm.
I'd be like, well, that's rude, and
Yeah.
you can lose connection like
Yeah.
through that as well. So it's not necessarily what's going on social media; it's what's happening from you just sitting on your phone.
We
Yeah.
touched on it on the first episode, love languages, and even from everyone, like, I've talked about that episode when we first kind of brought out the podcast, and everyone kind of, well, not, I can't speak for everyone, but everyone I've talked to all agreed quality time was like their number one love language. When they spoke to their partner and they were like, "What's your top five? My top five is this." Nearly everyone I talked to said, "Oh yeah, our top five or our number one is quality time." And I said it in that podcast episode. I was like, quality time isn't the two of you sitting there beside each other on the couch or in the bed, both on your phones. It's phone away. Let's watch a movie. You don't have to talk to each other. You don't have to look into each other's eyes for 20
Yeah,
minutes
no.
straight. Like, but
Tell me you
just-
love me.
yeah, but just like put the phones away. And I think that's a really good point, and it's something I actually didn't even think of. But that is a really, really good point. Like, if you have a partner and they're just always on their phone, or like, again, I have no problem with Zoe being on her phone. But if I'm talking to Zoe, I want her attention.
Exactly.
Like, there's nothing worse than trying to say something to someone, or could be as simple as organizing plans, or even organizing the dinner for that night.
Yeah.
And you're saying to them, "What do you want for dinner?" What? Sorry, what? I'm scrolling through my phone for anyone that can't see. me.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, what? Wait, dinner? I'll have Anton. And they're just scrolling through TikTok. And you're like, well, what do you want? Like, just like talk to me
Just
for
put
a
your
second.
phone
Just
down.
put your phone down.
Yeah.
But-
We both said that to each other
Yeah.
loads of times. Can you put your phone down for a minute? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, that's how easy it happens. Again, like, it happens in our relationship and we're so conscious of it, and it still happens.
Yeah.
Like, because your phone is so addicting, especially TikTok.
So addicting.
It's so addicting,
TikTok
like-
is the one that gets me.
Yeah.
I go down a rabbit hole in it.
You'll go on TikTok and you will literally, an hour will just go by.
You don't
in like
realize,
10
not
minutes.
even an hour. You're
Yeah.
like, just two. Like,
The
that's
amount
been
of
2 hours.
The amount of times we've been like sat upstairs, whatever, and we're both on our phones, both on TikTok, and like we'll both kind of like just be sucked into our phones, and it's normal. It's normal.
It's normal.
And then we both kind of just look at each other and go, "Geez, we've been on our phones for like
For
an
so
hour.
long.
Like, my battery's going dead."
But
I'm
we've
like, "Oh."
both been on, and do you know what?
Yeah.
You don't realize it until you get a low battery thing.
Yeah, and then you
You
look
will
over
still
and you're
sit
like,
there for hours, and then
Yeah.
it's like 10%. Oh, I need to put my phone on charge.
Yeah.
And then you look at your partner and it's like, right, you get off
"Get off your
yours
phone,
now.
I'm done now." Yeah, I know. But like, that actually, I never even thought that's a really good point. That like, and I don't think it's always like, well, I don't know, I can't say. I was gonna say it's always one partner who's probably more addicted than the other, but they're probably just as addicted.
I can admit I'm probably more addicted to my phone than you are.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
No, I think definitely I am,
Yeah.
and I'll hold that. Like
Yeah.
I'll take.
But like, at the
responsibility
same
for
time,
it.
it's something you enjoy, because I'll watch my stuff on YouTube
It
and you'll-
works for us.
and you'll sit on your phone.
yeah.
We're both happy. We're both spending time together in the room. But like, it'll come to a point where I'll say to Zoe, "Right, come on, we watch something together," or Zoe will be like, "Here, Aidan, I've been on my phone for an hour.
I'm
I'm
bored.
sick of it now.
Yeah.
Let's watch something."
Or
And
can we
I'm-
go on a walk or
And I'm
something?
like, "Yeah, cool."
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
sort of way.
We're not like
So-
no.
At the end of the day, it's not the worst thing in the world that your partner's sitting on their phone, but there's a time and place.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? But it can lead down to a road of addiction where you aren't spending quality time to each other, and it does have a very negative impact on the relationship, where you aren't communicating, you aren't spending quality time
It
together.
breaks down. It can break down your relationship.
Breaks-
Like,
breaks
'cause you're,
down
if you're
the whole of
constantly coming home
communication.
and you don't see your partner and they're just head on a phone,
Mm.
you'd be like, oh, for God's sake, I might as well talk to the wall.
I just thought of something there, right? And it could be a controversial thing. Do you think it's easier, right, to cheat or be unfaithful because of social media nowadays? Do you think it's easier? Think about what I'm saying now. Like, if I wanted to cheat, I'd go out and cheat if I wanted to. But do you think if I really, sorry, let me rephrase that. If I wanted to cheat without social media, it'd probably be harder, because how do I meet these girls I'm cheating with? you?
Because you're in the public, people would see it.
Because I
doing
have
it.
to physically go and chat to a girl and stuff like that, and blah blah blah. And you know, it's a lot easier to kind of text people on social media or dating apps, meet up with them once, and then just disappear.
Yeah.
You know, so right. So, do you think it's easier to
Oh, yeah, of course.
flirt and cheat on social
Of
media?
course.
And do you think that's a negative of relationships?
I literally have my last one of a con was flirtatiousness.
Yeah.
Because people can say they never overstepped, but they did, and they know they did, but they're saying, "Oh no, I just replied to a story." Like, you know,
Yeah.
like we've all had it. Like, I'm
Mm.
sure people have probably replied to your story saying something like hinting or maybe, and well,
yeah. No, I know. Yeah, I know. What
you
you're saying, though.
know,
There's
because like I
definitely
know
out there.
people who probably have texted me in a flirtatious way, but I don't.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if they're being flirty or not. Like,
Yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
So like, it's like that. Like, I think it's so much easier to cheat online,
Yeah.
like, or not get caught, or like
Yeah.
flirtatiously
Not get
throw
caught
your
is the big one.
opinion to another girl
Yeah.
and see if they'll bite.
Yeah.
You
can
like
fish.
throwing it
Yeah,
out there, yeah.
Exactly.
And
like,
if they
you
throw
could-
it back, happy days, I'm in.
yeah, like they could happily see you in a relationship, like, and you could text them something, and they could like, and just like even an emoji changes the whole
Whole
context
thing,
of
like,
like, I could be like, "Hey, how are you?" to some girl, but if I say, "Hey, how are you?" and an eyes
or a
emoji,
sweating face or something like that,
yeah, or
like,
something like that, like all of a sudden it completely
or a
changes the
wink.
context of the "Hey, how are you?"
Yeah.
Sort of way. So it's very dangerous because of social media, sort of way. And I just thought of something just there off the top of my head like that. That's definitely a negative to it.
Oh,
That
completely, like,
if a fella or a girl has that temptation to cheat, it makes it 10 times easier.
so you have these things now on, let's say Instagram, for example, right? That you can like someone's story now, like you can put
Mm.
love hearts on it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like I would never class that as like I'm like,
No.
so they liked that I was in the gym or something
Yeah.
like that. But it's then when they go through they type and oh, like I don't know, I'm just pulling this out of my arse now. Oh, you can train me any day.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, all
Yeah.
right, you're overstepping now. Have
Mm.
respect. Like, do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like that's what irritates. That's what can have
Mm.
like negative in a
You know what can
relationship.
even be in a more subtle kind of way is liking certain photos. We talked about it on
Like
red
more
flags.
revealing
Yeah, like
photos.
if your partner is liking the opposite gender's photos. So like me, for example, if I was liking other girls' photos and Zoe's seeing it, and she'd be like, "Why are you liking their photos?"
Yeah,
It just creates conflict.
yeah,
No, I could turn around and go, "Oh, she's just a friend,"
yeah.
and you might not want to look like a psycho, but in the back of your head, you're going, I've never met this friend.
Mm,
Who's this girl?"
yeah,
And then straight away you start getting suspicious because you could go onto their profile and see Aiden has liked all their photos,
yeah.
whether it be revealing or not. If I'm liking all her photos, in the back of
Yeah, I'd
your
be like,
head, you're
why every
going,
photo? Unless it genuinely is a friend that I know about, I wouldn't.
"Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, oh yeah,
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 obviously, yeah." But like, if you're like, even if it's like, "Oh, that's just a girl from work,"
yeah.
it's just a
I'd be
bit
like,
like, what's going on?
yeah,
And even though there might be pure innocence in it, like it could genuinely be a girl from work and you're just being nice and liking photos. Like I know like friends that I'm with friends with that will just like everything.
yeah.
I never like anything. I don't even like Zoe's posts.
No, he really doesn't. I'd be like, he'd actually
I
say it to me.
just
You looked really nice in your photo today. I'd be like, Aiden, you didn't even like it. Oh, did I not? I'm like, no.
I'm the opposite. Like I forget to like stuff.
I
You
do
know
that
what
as
I mean?
well. My friends like Rihanna and all this pulled me up. I'm like, oh, you got nominated, like whatever, and she'd be like, so you didn't even like it. I'm like, oh, did I not?
No. But that's
But in
just
my
us,
head, I'm like, fair
yeah.
play, like you
But
know.
like that, there could be just pure innocence in it. But because of the social media aspect, it just creates a conflict.
And then you notice as well, they can also do like, all right, I post photos of myself going out on nights out and stuff like that.
Mm,
And people like it. And there might
yeah.
be people who don't like my other posts that like only photos of me. And
Mm,
then when I post photos of me and you up, they won't like it.
yeah.
And you notice that. You notice it's a
Yeah,
trend. Like if
100%.
I people do it to me now, like I'll post a photo of myself going on a night out and like lads will like it. Like
Loads of lads
no,
will
not
like it.
loads of lads, but
Yeah.
like friends of friends of friends will like it.
Yeah.
And then any photo of
But you
like
know what
me
that
and
is?
Aiden, they'll never like
But you know what
it.
that is? That's exactly what you said. That's throwing the rod out and seeing who bites.
Yeah.
So they could be liking, I'm not saying they're liking all loads of girls to see who
Yeah,
bites, but
yeah.
like they're liking girls that they're going, oh, I know she has a fella, but you
She's
know,
kind of good looking, like, or she's decent.
she's good looking, she has a fella, but I'm single. I don't care about that fella or I don't care about that girl. I'm gonna like their photo and see what happens.
Yeah, and you do notice it. Like I
I'm gonna
notice
reply
it.
to the story with like flames emoji or a love heart emoji, and see what their reaction is. If their reaction is, "What are you doing?" Then you just go, "All right, I'm never doing
Or
that again.
like
That's a waste of time."
you do get it. Like people, like
Mm,
some random people would add me, and I'd be like, oh, they have a friend of a friend. They must be a friend of that person. I'll accept them.
yeah,
And then I accept them, and then I realize they're probably just a weirdo.
yeah,
Like,
just
could
creepy.
I have then put flames on my picture or something like
Yeah,
that? And then I text the person who's mutual friends with, I'm like, who is this? And they'd be like, oh, I don't know. They just added me.
yeah,
And then I'm like, right, delete straight away.
straight
Like,
away.
you know what I
Yeah,
mean? But like, I don't even reply back.
yeah,
And sometimes, funny enough, I like will turn around to Aiden and be like, look at this. Like, we show each other messages that people send us. Like,
yeah.
the other day, you were like, I was always step aside. Someone texted me on Twitter.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
could you
but they're
imagine?
like, fellas will know. Like even girls probably get. I don't know. Like you'll get those like robots, and it'd be like some like I don't know, like Brazilian girl with like the best looking body in the world. It's probably AI created. And like, there's nothing on her page, just a link to some dodgy website,
Yeah.
and it's like, "Text me, baby."
I keep getting added into these random ones on Instagram
Oh,
lately.
you showed me that,
I was
yeah.
like, Aiden, this is the 10th time they've added me into this
But
chat.
like, you get that being like, "I just seen your profile. I find you very handsome. Please text me,"
Yeah.
and they leave your number.
Yeah.
I'm not texting that number.
But yeah, we
God
laugh
knows
at
who
them.
behind that.
Yeah, we laugh at
Yeah.
them.
But like again, to tie it all in, like the whole aspect of cheating and being unfaithful and flirting with other people, it's so accessible. Like again, going back to what you said at the very start of this episode, imagine trying to be in a relationship and flirt with someone on Bebo.
Oh.
You couldn't. You couldn't. It's out in the open.
It's
You
completely out in the
couldn't. You
open.
couldn't do it in secret.
It's like you, right? Because I don't know what other lad groups are like, but I know your lad group and they're my friends. Like, you know, they were Aiden's friends originally. But like, if you tried to cheat in the open, they would
They'd be like,
straight
"What the
up
fuck you
be like,
doing?"
who the fuck do you think you are?
Yeah, what the fuck you doing?
Zoe, this is what he's doing. And they would. They
Yeah.
probably would. Or they'd tell you,
I
go
don't
tell
know.
her.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. They go to the extent. I honestly don't know. Like,
No, sorry.
I
I
don't know if
don't
they'd
mean
go to
if
the
you were
extent-
flirting, they would
I
tell
don't think
me.
they'd go to the extent of saying, Zoe, you never guess what Aiden was doing
No,
last night.
I don't
But
think if you
they-
were flirting. But if
They
you,
grab me by the scruff and be like, what the fuck are you doing?
But I know for a fact, I have a feeling that if you ever cheated and they know you cheated
Yeah.
for a fact, they'd be like, you have to tell Zoe.
Yeah.
Like they would. They'd
Oh,
be
they
like, you
would.
have to. But I don't know
Yeah.
now if they caught
But
you
if-
flirting,
but
they'd be
if
like,
I
you have to
didn't-
tell
But
her.
if I didn't tell them, you'd nearly be able to tell because they just wouldn't hang around me.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, why aren't you doing this to your friends or any sort of event? They wouldn't speak to me or anything. Like, there'd just be this awkwardness. You'd be like, what's up?
Yeah.
And eventually it would come out of the woodwork.
Yeah. Like
You know,
I
so,
like,
like-
and I know that for a fact. So big
Yeah.
up all of Aiden's lads. These are
Well,
one of a kind.
I know, yeah, but like, that's what I mean. Like, find good friend groups as well. You know,
And
so,
you'll
like,
notice it, and girls will notice it straight away. Because the minute like I
Put it this
came
way.
into your group, I
Yeah.
was just like, I've never met a nicer bunch of lads in my life.
Put it this way, right? It creates conflict. I know we're getting off on the social media aspect, but it's a good point. You know, like, imagine me and you got together and I introduced you to my friends, and all of them had girlfriends, and you know I'd never cheat, right? Just say, like, for example, or you would be like,
Never trust someone 100%.
yeah, I know. But like you would say, like I know I'd never cheat on you and blah blah blah. I'd never lie to you, blah blah blah. But all my friends were out there ripping off their girlfriends.
Instantly, I'd be like,
You-
no.
Straight away, you'd be like, I don't want you to be friends with them.
Yeah, but
And even though I'm like, well, these are my friends from school, blah blah blah. In the back of your head, you're going, what's stopping him cheating? Because they're all
100%.
outlined,
If they're all doing
out
it, they'll all
cheating.
edge you on. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, how are you? You'd be like, how are you going to say no when all them are out doing
Yeah.
God knows what? And as much as I might be pure innocent on the matter, and I stay well aware, it's just going to always create conflict in
100%.
the relationship. So if you have friends like that, just steer clear of them. Telling them now, it's not
or
worth the
just
drama.
tell your friends they're gobshites. Like,
Yeah, it's
nip it in
just-
the bud.
yeah,
Like, have a
it's
bit of
just-
respect. If
yeah.
you don't want to, if you want to be out cheating on your girlfriend, finish
Just be
with her.
single.
Finish with her.
Yeah,
Like,
just be single.
or him if you're a girl. Finish with him.
It'll
Like,
make it 10 times easier because you don't have to.
You don't need to
sneak
lie,
Around,
yeah.
Don't have to lie.
just do whatever you want to do in the open.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Anyways,
We're getting sidetracked.
Right, yeah,
off
we
it.
are.
Social medias. We're
on
going on a
social
rant now.
media.
But okay, we'll move on to the next question that I have about social media, right?
Sorry, are we done with our pros and cons?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've covered like the basics of it. Jesus, we're going 48 minutes. Oh my god, we were absolutely waffling. We were absolutely waffling.
And
Oh
I
my
honestly
God.
was like, will we
I
have
felt like
enough
we were talking for 20
content for
minutes.
this one?
I need to check that again. Is that right? Yeah, look. Where's it
yeah,
gone?
we're good.
47
We're
minutes. Oh my
Well,
god.
yeah, we
I
have
was
loads
thinking-
of time. We
I
only
was
have to
thinking-
do like our agrees
Oh,
and
Jesus.
disagrees.
Yeah, no, but I don't want the episode to be like an hour and a half.
Listen, our listeners are true to us.
Right, whatever. But like, look, real quick, right? Do you think there's a correct way of using social media in a relationship?
Yeah, and I
Right, go
actually
on.
wrote down a few things here.
Here we go. We're definitely going over the hour mark now. So
So I'll just say them all out.
Go on,
one
yeah,
by- like
yeah, just
we
say them
won't
all,
need
yeah,
to.
yeah.
We don't need to talk about them.
Yeah.
Have respect when using social media for your partner.
what do you mean though?
Don't overstep. Don't be liking girls' photos of them
Yeah,
half
okay.
naked,
Yeah.
sending sweat faces on photos.
Yeah.
Like, just use it either to share your own relationship or your own memories
keep in
and
touch with
connect with your
people.
friends.
Correct.
You don't need to be random adding people.
Mm,
Like, and sorry, this actually, my second one, don't overstep.
yeah.
It kind of ties into it.
Yeah.
Don't embarrass your partner,
Yeah.
like on social media. Like, don't be making a fool of them on social media.
Yeah.
And then don't let it cause problems in your relationship.
Yeah. They're all straightforward.
They're all
isn't they?
straightforward.
I
like-
only had like kind of one, and it was just like, I'm a big believer, and it's gas because it means that we have a podcast about our relationship to the public. But I think privacy in a relationship is really important.
100%.
I cannot stand, and I'm sorry if you're these type of couples, I'm just gonna name drop you, I don't care. Couples who argue and you can tell they're arguing based on the social media posts.
Oh yeah, like,
Like,
putting up quotes and
putting up
songs, tagging
quotes,
songs on
yeah,
them, singing like
or
about I fuck you and stuff.
Yeah,
Sorry for
like
cursing.
or just putting up, of course, lots of times, or putting up like, you know, photos of like, oh, do you know what? I'm just so done.
catch flights, not feelings.
Yeah, that's a classic. But like putting up on their story being like, I'm not even bothered anymore. And then like it used to always happen on like Facebook, like someone would put up a post and be like,
I'm over this.
and be like, I'm so done, full stop. And then all their like say like obviously a fella's not gonna say that, it'd be more so a girl. And all our friends are like, what's wrong, hon? What's wrong? Are you okay? And they're like, text me or yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, or once a cheater, always a cheater.
Just putting up all these mad quotes.
I feel like if
about,
you
like-
do that, you're opening your relationship up to people having opinions
Like
and laughing at
you
you.
know, like these two individuals are seeing each other and they're putting up loads of photos of each other and blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden they kind of stop putting photos up of each other and
It's all
the
quotes.
fella's just out with all his mates and the girl is just like, if he can't handle you at your worst, he doesn't deserve you at your best. And you're like, amen, sister, putting it
Yeah.
up and all. I'm like, right, well, they've clearly broken up.
Yeah,
There's no need.
no, and then
There's
they
just
probably
it
end up
does
back
my head
together,
in.
and then like
It does my head in. Like, just, I'm like, by all means, do what makes you happy in the sense that if you're enjoying your relationship and you want to plaster your relationship all over social media, be my guest.
but you're open for people having an opinion on your relationship
Yeah.
then, or being a laughing stock. Because if you put up he's a cheater and then you're back with him and then he's ripping it off and then you're crying, you're like, well,
Exactly. And
you're
the whole world is
posting it
seeing
to the
and
whole
you're just
world,
making a
keeps
fool of
you- yeah.
yourself. But even if you are happy and there is no tomfoolery going on, I just think like just as you said, you're just leaving yourself open to problems.
Yeah.
Like by all means, post yourself on social media, post the best parts of yourself on social media. But when you're having a fight or when you're having disagreement or there's a few bumps in the road, the worst thing you can do is post and vent on social media.
go to your friends,
Because
like talk to your
because
friends.
people are going to see that and they're going to remember it.
Mm,
That's the worst part about it. They'll never remember, like, if me and Zoe put up a photo today of ourselves here now, no one's going to be like, oh yeah, I remember Zoe putting up that photo of them two
Yeah.
in where they record the podcast.
it's always gonna be the drama.
But if I put up a post on my story and was like, oh, do you know what? I just can't do this anymore. I'm sick of her, full stop. And put that up on my story. No one's forgetting that.
He's looking out the window.
6 months down the line, even if me and Zoe are back together, they're looking at us going, I wonder what happened 6 months
Wonder
ago.
what he was sick of.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? Like, it's
Why is he back with her?
I just think like by all means post up whatever you want on your story when things are going good. When things are going bad, keep it to your bleeding selves.
Yeah,
Simple as that.
yeah.
So I think we can agree there's more negatives to social media than there is positives. Unfortunately, which
Yeah.
It's sad to say because social media is such a powerful thing. But as you said, I think you summed it up perfectly. Read out your things there. How to use social media correctly. I think you summed it up perfectly.
I'm
Here
gonna
we
mess.
Announcement.
Have respect when you're using social media. Don't overstep.
Yeah.
Don't embarrass your partner, and don't let it cause problems in a relationship.
Boom. Amen, sister.
Mic drop.
Right. Happy enough to move on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we need to.
I know, yeah.
We need to wrap this up.
I know, yeah, Jesus. But I guarantee like I'll listen to this back because we always listen to them back the odd time and I'll be like, oh, I forgot to say this.
I love
forgot
how you
to
say that. Oh, I always listen to them back the odd time.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Leave me alone, will you? But like I always listen to stuff back and I'm like, oh, I forgot to say this really good point or I forgot to say this now.
Yeah.
But as I always say, if you have opinions on this, let us know and we'd love to share them on the next episode and stuff like that. But we're gonna go into the agrees and disagrees and I have 3 for you, Zoe.
Shoot
I
them.
only have 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that
Yeah.
actually works well.
I only have 2. Yeah, that's actually grand. Right. They're nothing got to do with this. This one was actually said to me. Not going to say who said it to me because
Who? Money messing. It's going to be a thing now on this podcast.
no.
Spill the beans.
Are you ready?
Okay.
Again, if you haven't heard these before, Zoe doesn't know these, so it's
I never
completely-
know them. We were
off
meant
the
to
rip.
change weekly, but Aiden just always comes up with
Zoe's too busy on TikTok scrolling.
something.
So I just end up doing it. In a relationship, the child should always carry the man's second name.
Disagree.
Now, I'm talking about in a, like, not like, they had a kid and they're not with each other.
Oh, just in it.
I'm talking
oh,
like they're actually
you're together.
They're
Oh, I
together.
agree.
You agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Should always carry the man's
Yeah,
name.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's a thing. Obviously, it's just from years ago, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I agree if you're in a relationship.
Mm.
But I think it stems back to you're meant to get married when you have kids from years ago.
Yeah,
it was
true.
it was forbidden you don't get married.
Very good
And
point.
I think that stems from giving the child the man's second name
Mm.
because
That's the family
we were
name
going to
now.
marry.
Yeah,
we're meant
yeah.
to be married.
That's our family
Whereas
name.
now a lot of
Yeah.
people have kids and don't marry. So I can
Mm.
see why people would disagree.
Yeah.
But from my point of view, I would, if I had a
Yeah.
child with you and we weren't
Like-
married, I would still like
Yeah. Like if you had a child with someone and something happened and you aren't together anymore, or
And you came to an agreement of why the child's second name
now, I
should
don't know
be.
how you'd even go through that agreement because
It's a hard one to have.
it's a really
it is
hard
a hard one
one
to
and we're
have.
not going to go down that road. But I'm going to talk about people who are actually in relationships. Like, I don't know. Like, if we had a child and you turned around to me and goes, Aiden, I want that child to have Murphy as a second name.
But we've
I don't know how I'd feel about
but
it.
we've had this conversation that like when we get married, I possibly won't be taking your second name.
Yeah, that doesn't bother
And
me.
you possibly
but my
might.
child not having my second name, not upsets me, but would annoy me more than you not having my second name.
Yeah, but that's where then also it comes into, right, let's say people get married and the man takes a girl's name. Then it's not your name. It's your marriage name.
Oh, like if the man takes the woman's name, I can't imagine him having a problem with.
Yeah,
because he obviously doesn't
it's
like
gonna
that
be the
surname
family
for whatever
name.
reason.
Yeah.
Then it's gonna be the family name. But like, if I'm O'Reilly and you're Murphy, and like I'll tell you right now, like if our son or daughter didn't have O'Reilly as a second name, I'd be a bit pissed off.
Sure, right.
But you love your second name and I love my second name, so
yeah,
like, what happens?
I don't really care. Like I
Yeah.
obviously think I agree that my child should have your name, but
Yeah,
that's
it's your
just
name.
that's just because I just think that.
Yeah.
But if we weren't together, I would obviously want my child to have my name.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that brings me to a funny topic. I went to the vet, and bear in mind, my son is my dog right now, and
My dog is my son. You said my son is my dog.
yeah, I don't have a child,
My dog
so
is
my
like a
dog is my
son.
son. Yeah.
You didn't say it the other way.
All right, whatever.
Go on.
And I went to the vet, and obviously Hayden registered Zeke with the vet.
I know what you're gonna say.
And I was sitting there, and it's like Zeke O'Reilly. It's like, oh, well, that struck deep.
You didn't like
Oh
it?
no, it killed me.
Yeah.
It really killed
You
me.
wanted to be Zeke
Because
Murphy.
Zeke idolizes me, not Aiden.
Oh, Zeke, I'm the stepdad in this relationship. Like
that really dug
Zeke
deep with me.
couldn't give two shits about me.
I know we're going off topic because it's a child, and obviously how dog doesn't compare to a child.
Yeah.
But that killed me. Like that I was like, oh, I felt like crying. I was like, oh.
I know.
I felt like going to the vet and being like, we're actually separated.
Yeah,
Can we
can you
change?
change that? Yeah, I know. Aiden,
But anyways,
Aiden's not in the picture anymore.
anyways, I agree that the
You agree?
child should have the
I agree
second
too.
name. Yeah,
I
no, I
agree
do.
too. Right.
But unless
Unless you're not together.
unless you're not
then
together,
then it's a whole separate
it's
conversation.
completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely different.
Right, next one. It's essential for couples to have similar taste in fashion.
No, absolutely not.
No.
No, why do you need to have similar taste in fashion?
What happens if you didn't like the way I dressed all the time?
I could probably change it over time.
So
but
that means to be successful, you'd have to have a
no,
similar
you don't
appearance.
have to be successful. I wouldn't leave you if you dress bad. I'd probably get used to your style and be like, well, that's just how he dresses.
A dog
See,
is
the
absolutely
snoring
his head off
here.
Hang
Leave
on.
him because he'll wake up
Alright,
then.
go on.
No, I don't think you need to be successful.
You disagree?
Yeah.
Right.
Obviously, you think.
I agree.
Really?
Yeah. We have similar tastes in
Yeah, but we
clothes.
just so happen to have similar tastes. But
Well,
like,
that's
I
why-
know couples that dress completely opposite and they don't care.
But you know what though? If you were to go out, and again, no offense to people who do this, this is just I just don't personally like it. But if you were to go out and be like wearing like pink all the time and wearing like I don't know,
Yeah, but then you
Like-
just get used to me doing that, and it wouldn't be a conscious thing. Then you'd be like 7 years later, you're still gonna be sitting there going, "She's wearing pink."
But you know what, right? I knew you were
To
gonna say
be
this.
successful?
No, not to be successful, but I just think like
No,
to
that's
be
the question.
to be like compatible in a way.
no.
It's essential for couples to have similar taste in fashion. I think it is. I think if you have different taste in
If
fashion,
you're basing your relationship happiness or whatever off of how I dress, good luck. Good luck.
but think of all our friends
Yeah.
in relationships. They'll have similar taste in fashion, the boy and girl.
Yeah, but they don't know that when they're getting with each other.
But they obviously do
Like,
because
Aiden, when I first met you, you were wearing skinny jeans.
that's was the time. At the time, everyone
Get
wore skinny
over it.
jeans.
You wore skinny jeans. Now
That's
you
because
wear
skinny
baggy
jeans-
jeans.
but
I'm
that's
not
because-
standing there going, oh, he's wearing baggy jeans now. I don't like
But
that.
but that's because skinny jeans at the time were what everyone was
But
wearing.
I never liked skinny jeans. But I wasn't sitting there going, he's wearing skinny jeans.
That's
I don't
fair enough,
like
that's your
him.
opinion.
Yeah.
I just agree. I just
Well,
think
that's fair enough,
I
sorry.
just think like if I met you and I didn't like your fashion sense, you could be the best looking girl in the world, which you are, of course.
Thank you.
And you
Oh, no,
could be
that's-
the best personality in the world, which you're not. But if you were wearing something that really just annoyed me, I can't even think of what. I'd just be like, oh no.
Come
I
here,
can't.
right? Funny story, right?
Oh, here we go.
Listen to what he's saying
Oh
now,
my
right?
God.
Listen to what he's
What are you
saying
going
now.
to say now?
Right, I'm going to throw you under the bus
Oh,
right now,
no.
right? Hide your head in shame, right? Aiden once told me he was seeing a girl and she ate loudly and it turned him off and he never went back to her.
Oh my
I
God.
eat like a pig. I eat like a savage. My sister sat beside me and was like, you need to close your mouth when you're eating. And what happened?
What's that got to do with fashion?
Because you're saying that you wouldn't be able to put up with it, but yeah, you told me you stopped seeing someone because of how she ate. And sorry, that sounds really judgmental.
Yeah,
It-
you're
not
making
that-
me look
no.
so bad now.
No, I'm
Jesus
not.
Christ.
I'm not. But then you always say to me, geez, you need to slow down when you're eating, but it's never turned you off of me. And like,
No.
we're engaged.
Yeah.
So you're telling me if you met me and you didn't like my fashion, that you wouldn't get used to it or comfortable with it after years, and it would affect our
I'd
relationship.
try and change it.
Well, that's different.
Yeah, but I'm saying like I try and change it because I don't like it. Because
But you're not gonna.
but if you refuse to change it, I wouldn't be happy about it.
But so you'd stop seeing me.
I don't know. Maybe.
Like
Like if I rocked up right
we're
nowadays.
talking about this way too long.
If I rocked up with bleeding now, again, I'm sorry if you wear this. This is just not my fashion sense. But if I rocked up wearing like flare jeans, check shorts, and a cowboy hat,
Wouldn't bother me. But just lose the cowboy hat and I could deal with it.
no, you would.
That's like a prop, like.
You'd be buying me clothes and I'd be like, I think you
Yeah,
should
I
wear this.
would, but like that doesn't mean I'm gonna stop seeing
because
you.
you're trying to change my fashion sense because you want me to have a similar
Yeah,
fashion
but
sense
it
to you.
doesn't mean no, not to me. I don't wear tracksuits every day.
Fair enough.
Like I don't wear baggy.
Yeah.
Well, I wear cargos and all, but
Yeah.
well, yeah, I do. But like, but
You're digging a
but
hole
like
here.
I don't
You're
make
digging a
you
hole.
wear dresses
That's obviously bleeding
or
different.
skirts. No, it's not.
I
That's
heard, you
my
know
dress
what?
sense.
We'll agree to disagree.
Girls and whoever.
Let us know because that's actually the first time we can't agree on something.
No, well, I just think your opinion's silly. What else?
Thanks very much.
I'm
Right.
joking.
We're gonna move into the dilemma,
Dilemma.
and I seen this one on TikTok, and I got a great laugh out of it. So I'm obviously not gonna play the TikTok because this girl might not know we're playing the TikTok, but
Who is she?
I don't know. Just some girl popped up on me.
Is she
thing.
Irish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
You have to show me afterwards.
I'll show you afterwards. But basically, she basically said like, how many aura points did I lose after the story, girl?
Aura.
Yeah, you know what aura is? Aura is like your
Like angel.
No, aura is like your
Aura.
persona. Like if I had like a strong aura,
People
like
say, "Oh, you have a lovely aura."
no, of like a presence,
Oh, okay.
like a swag. If that makes
Okay.
sense. So she basically embarrassed herself,
Okay.
and she was like, "I lost loads of aura points." Right? Aura is just this thing of trend at the moment.
Okay.
Basically, and it kind of ties into what we were saying a minute ago. Basically, she said to her partner at the time, they're obviously not together, that they don't go on dates as much. They never go on dates anymore, right? I know, right? Listen, right? So he was like, right, tell you what, I've organised something for us on Friday night.
Right.
Come over to my house, get ready, and we're going out.
Okay.
So she thought lovely, went out, bought a dress, bought shoes, got her hair done, her nails done, glammed up to the nines, can't wait, I'm buzzing for this now, right?
Mhm.
While she was getting ready in his house or his ma's house, at the
Yeah.
time, he was like, I'm going out to get my hair cut, be back in 2 hours, right? Why did you look at me like that?
Why is it? It doesn't take 2 hours to get your hair cut.
Well, he just said I'll be back
yeah,
soon.
I'll be back in a
right?
while.
Be back
yeah,
soon. Sorry, I'm
Sorry, I
telling
thought you were being
specific
specific there.
So he was like, I'll be back in a while, an
Mm.
hour or two. So she was like, right, grand. So she was ready, and a few hours went by, and he hadn't turned up. So she was a bit like, it doesn't take this long to get your hair cut.
Yeah.
Like, it's only down the road, blah, blah, blah. So she was like, you know what, I'll give it another half an hour, 40 minutes, and I'll see what the story is. Text him, no reply.
Right.
Rang him, phone's turned off.
Oh. Well,
Mm.
I wouldn't like my head wouldn't go. He's cheating. I just like, is he all right?
Yeah, I know. So,
I would
but
think something's happened to
I don't
him.
know how early or late this was in the relationship, but she was obviously very like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
So, anyways, she was no answer off him whatsoever, and she got really upset. She was bawling her eyes out, crying, and she was telling her girlfriends, and they huddled around, girl power, and were like, "We're all gonna get dressed up, and we're gonna go out, and we're gonna enjoy our night," right?
Okay, so she wasn't even worried about him. Like, what happened?
No, so obviously maybe this is like a previous thing that was happening.
Okay.
I don't know. That's what it seems. But basically, like he just didn't come back
Okay. Right.
for the day for whatever
Right.
reason. His phone was turned off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good point. She never really cared.
No.
But I don't know. I don't know the all ins and outs of it. So, anyways, her girlfriends came around to the house or her house, whatever. They all got done up. They all went out on a big girls' night out in town. They walked into a pub or a nightclub, whatever, and across the room, there he was getting gargled with his mates. So she storms over and makes a whole scene, argues back and forth. What the hell? How dare you treat me like this? Blah 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 blah. Him and his mates were on their side of the room. Me and my girlfriends were on our side of the room. Fast forward later that night, we'd kissed and made up, and we spent the next 5 years together, doing the same thing over and over again. Isn't that just mad?
Sorry, I don't.
What's
What's
your
your question here, though?
I'm just saying, like, okay, sorry, yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough. What would you do in that situation? Like,
I don't
if I did
know.
that to you, like,
Oh, I wouldn't be happy.
eh,
I'd give you another chance, but like I wouldn't
would
be
you?
happy. Like I obviously
I just
depends on what
think
you tell me.
How disrespectful is that?
It's
Though?
very disrespectful. Like it
To-
really, really
To turn
is.
around and say, "Oh, I know we haven't been out in ages. I've gone through the trouble and organised something, building our hopes up, to then end up. I don't even know how that transition happens, where you go for a haircut and then you're out till 1 in the morning or whatever, and you don't even have the respect to text your girlfriend to be like, I'm actually out with the lads
No,
now."
I completely think it's
I just think
disrespectful.
that's.
But
I don't think there's no way coming back
it
from
was
that.
her decision to go back with him, so she's probably as bad as him.
That's what she said. Why do I lose all these aura points? Because she's realised now. Obviously, this was years ago.
Yeah.
But she's realised now, like, how thick was I to do
Yeah.
that? You know, sort of
Yeah.
way. But I just think, like, I just wanted to discuss it because I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She thought it was funny. So obviously, she's sharing it on social media to be like, how stupid was I back
Yeah.
then? But I just think, like, that's a genuine, real story. And, like, that probably still happens to this day, where the fella goes out to get his haircut or go to the shop, be back in a minute.
Oh,
And
100%.
Ends up on the rip with the mates, leaving his girlfriend back there, wondering. She probably was very concerned. You don't know.
See, that's where I would have went. I would have been like, oh, he's at to get, but that's because you don't do that. But like, I would have been like, well, something big is at to happening for him to turn off his phone.
This is obviously something that happened in the past, because she said as soon as he didn't show up 3 hours late and his phone was off, we knew.
Yeah,
He's
no,
gone
it's so
out with the lads.
disrespectful. It's really
But
disrespectful.
like, again, it ties into like kind of what we were saying in the last episode about trust and all. I just don't understand why you wouldn't just cut all ties there and then. I obviously don't know the context of the relationship, but I just thought it was mad.
Yeah, no,
I just
it
wanted to
is.
tell a different story than reading out a dilemma, because I seen that on TikTok and I was like, I must actually share this with Zoe and see what she thinks about it.
Yeah, it's just silly. Like it's just childish.
It is
like,
childish.
It's
Yeah.
childish.
And she was probably the same age as ourselves. I don't
Now.
know, maybe a year or two younger. No, when she was telling the story on TikTok when I seen it. So this probably happened.
So it happened to her when she's like 21.
19, 20
yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that. Like, so
Which at that stage you're kind of young and
You make some
foolish, and
silly
you
shit
don't
decisions,
realize
yeah,
it. Like same
everything
as
could involve
myself.
it.
Like I was, what age was I? 17 when I met my ex, and
Mm.
I was with him till I was nearly 20.
yeah,
You know, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll never get them years back.
exactly, yeah.
So
way
yeah,
it
no, you
works.
do. You make mistakes, but you learn from them.
Yeah.
But I think yeah, I think he's no respect, and I think it's kind of really each their own. It's their own fault for allowing
Yeah.
it to happen. It was
No.
my own fault for allowing it to happen.
Mm.
So but yeah, I don't know. I
I
don't
just
really
thought it
know
was a
what
funny
else to
story.
say.
I just
Yeah.
thought it was a funny story. So there you go. Maybe we'll go back to the Demoness next time. Just wanted to try that
No,
out.
it's a good one.
Thanks.
Well done. Give me a shake.
Thanks very much. Right, we're going to end the episode there. Hope you did enjoy. If you did enjoy, and if you did make it this far, thank you as always.
Thank you.
If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. If you'd like to follow us on Instagram, it's happily ever laughter.
Still can't get it right.
Oh, you should do the outro.
Maybe on
'cause I
episode
can't-
20 we'll get it right.
Yeah, you should do the outro. But as always, if you're listening on Spotify,
Yeah, let's just cut it there. Thank you,
if we're
everybody.
listening on Spotify, Apple Music, make sure you rate us, do all that good stuff. Look out for our socials, and we shall see you in the next episode.
Bye bye. Episode 7. Next one.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks very much.
See you now.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.